were one of us traveling in each month of this year?
Yes. Almost every month except for January, I was traveling in some capacity.
That is wild.
Which is a lot.
Walk us through it.
You know, I honestly thought 2019 was our biggest travel year, and I will definitely say that this past year was a big travel year. Hello and welcome to the Worldwide Honeymoon Travel Podcast, the podcast that talks about all things couples travel, including destinations, tips, advice, and more. I'm Kat.
I'm Chris.
And this is episode number 198.
I have some beef with a certain European country.
Which one?
Croatia.
Why?
You know, you always describe it as this wonderful place.
It's beautiful.
Magical city of Dubrovnik with the city walls.
Mm-hmm.
They're falling on my list of where I'd like to go because I just cannot support the fact that they were the direct reason for you winning our bracket challenge.
Yes.
Which
Croatia's bumped up on my list now. No,
you are 2 for 2 on brackets this year.
I don't know. I'm just a bracket queen. Like, I've got this. I know nothing about the sports in general that we bet against, and I still somehow beat you.
It's very disappointing.
So I'm excited to see which country you're going to be cooking a 3-course meal for. I guess at the moment it's between Argentina, France, or Morocco, and so the France-Morocco game is going to determine the top 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
I still lost the points challenge, though.
That's the date night.
So I have to pay for a date night for the 2 of us.
Yeah, and I am not going to go easy on the wallet there.
We're going to go to Taco Bell.
We are not going. We are not going.
Chipotle date night.
You know, maybe we will go to Taco Bell after going out for drinks and a nice meal and drinks again, and then maybe we'll go to Taco Bell. Date night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to make that one hurt a little.
Well, I'm going to pick some complicated recipes.
No.
For the winning country.
You don't get to pick.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. That was not the bet.
Yes, it is. Are you kidding me?
The bet was that the loser has to cook a 3-course meal. So I am going to pick...
Of the winner's choice of the country.
Nope, not of the winner's choice. Just a 3-course meal from the country of the winner. So, yeah. Other than World Cup updates, which really, I mean, are there any other updates this time of year? Well, not this time of year because, yeah, like we're like smack in the middle of like the holiday season.
Yeah.
But when the World Cup is on, are there any other updates? Most likely not.
Yeah. Other than the fact that I got our dates or our thing wrong. We have 2 episode 196s now because we had recorded an episode before Thanksgiving, before I left for the Christmas markets. And then we recorded one when I got back and I forgot that I had already recorded one. So I listed both as 196. The one before that is actually 197. My apologies. And now we're on 198. And now we're back on track.
This is the real 198?
This is the real 198.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. Do you have a highlight from the past 48 hours?
I don't know. I've just been working. What's happened? I don't know. I feel like you just blanked on, like, you know how you sometimes forget what you have for breakfast? I feel like that's just like what happened. I'm like, I don't know. What did I do the last couple of days?
You have the same thing for breakfast every day.
Well, I know I do, but I'm like.
Do you forget about that?
No.
This is concerning.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't really done anything the last couple of days other than work. So like that. I've enjoyed that. I've been writing again, so that's fun, and I'm finishing up my stories of the Christmas markets, so that's exciting. But yeah, other than that, nothing too crazy. What about you?
Well, my highlight was the fact that as I was falling asleep on Sunday after we recorded real episode 197 / fake episode 196.2. As I was falling asleep, our beloved cat, Professor, came up and cuddled cheek to cheek with me.
Which cheek?
That's fair. The one that I would not mind, cheek to cheek.
Which one?
What is wrong with you?
Your face. He cuddled up against your face.
My face and his face.
Yeah.
And it just, did he do the same thing with you?
Oh, but you don't have to rub it in, Christopher. We get it. He is currently, as we record, he also is our recording assistant in our studio, aka our office / extra bedroom. He is currently sleeping on my sweater on the extra bedroom bed.
Yeah.
And he cuddles with me a lot during the day while I'm working.
It's a fierce competition for his love, but he manages it with grace.
He still climbs over you a lot to hang out with me.
Yeah, that's fair.
So,
alrighty. Anything else?
I will say getting to cuddle with Bubs is great. We've been doing that a lot lately now that I'm home, because I got home from France and I was home for 2 days. Then we took him back down to your parents, went down to Cincinnati, and it's nice to have him back home for a while and us to hang out. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Anything else before we jump into today's episode?
Nah, that's it.
Okay. This is going to be the first in a 3-part series. We do the same last 3 episodes every year, which is our year in review. The first episode, which is going to be today's, is all about stats and shoutouts. So you're going to be talking all about the trips we've taken, the miles we've flown, the miles we've earned, the miles we've burned, some travel goals that you have for next year, and then we'll talk about like some more statistic stuff, and then kind of give some shoutouts to memorable things from our travels this past year. The next episode, which will be episode 199, we'll be talking about our top 5 experiences as well as our top 5 embarrassing moments. Mm-hmm. And then episode 200 will be our top 5 food and our top 5 drink from this past year. So without further ado, let's jump into stats and shoutouts. And this is always an episode that I look forward to because, like, whenever we do this, I'm always like, stats. Like, I don't really care about that. But then it also kind of helps me put into perspective, and it's a nice way to reflect on the year. Mm-hmm. So I actually would encourage you guys to kind of take a similar approach, not necessarily down to like the granular level of miles earned or miles burned like Kat does here, but to think back on your year and just kind of appreciate it for what it was from a travel perspective. Mm-hmm. Alrighty, let's start off with 2022 trips.
Yes.
Were one of us traveling in each month of this year?
Yes. Almost every month except for January, I was traveling in some capacity.
That is wild.
Which is a lot.
Walk us through it.
You know, I honestly thought 2019 was our biggest travel year, and I will definitely say that this past year was a big travel year. Because 2019 was Peru, we did Paris, we did the Christmas markets, and we did quite a lot this year.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Go for it.
All right. Starting out in February / March, or late February, early March, I went to the Southwest with a good friend of mine, Amanda, who runs the blog Dangerous Business. So definitely go check her stuff out. She has a lot more Southwest content if you want to check that out. We flew into Vegas. We went to Death Valley National Park, Alabama Hills, and then Joshua Tree, and then ended in Vegas. So it was a lot of fun, a little road trip out there. So my first time kind of in that part of the world, like in the Southwest. In April, we went to Philadelphia. And I believe earlier that month you went, was it the Poconos?
Yes, that is correct.
For a bachelor party. And then in May, we both went to Italy, May / early June. We spent a week in Italy exploring Milan, Piedmont, Bologna, and ending in Rome. So that was a ton of fun that we got to do. Late June / early July, I went to Myrtle Beach for a family vacation. In July, Christopher went to Milwaukee for a bachelor party. And then in August and / early September, we did Uganda and Kenya. So we spent, I think, 9 days in Uganda, 3 days in Kenya. So we went to the Masai Mara in Kenya. We did a gorilla trek, chimp trek, and went to Queen Elizabeth National Park in Uganda. Then in late September, early October, I did a road trip in Provence with my sister. And then in, I believe it was November, you went to Naples, Florida. And then the last trip that we took this year that I took was to France and Germany. So I went to Paris, the Alsace, and then Frankfurt with my parents. And that was late November and into early December. So a lot of trips this year. Like I said before, the only month that I wasn't traveling was January.
That is wild.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was good, though. I mean, I love it, but it is hard to balance my work schedule with all of that, too.
Yeah.
So
that's fair.
Yeah. So I know next year...
Especially when you're like, when not all of these are all relaxation all the time.
Yeah.
Especially for the IG husband.
Okay.
You know, I'm getting that shot. I'm thinking of like Nat Geo in the back or Vogue, and I'm like, I mean, depending on the subject matter, any of them could pick this up.
I mean, all of them were pretty much work for me. I mean, obviously,
absolutely.
Philly, we enjoyed the wedding and everything.
Myrtle Beach, not so much.
Myrtle Beach was pretty laid back because I really only took photos like a day or two of the trip, and then the rest of the time was just with family. So that was kind of more of an unplugged. And obviously, during Uganda and Kenya, we had moments where we weren't doing anything. Well, we were doing things, but like it wasn't stuff that I was documenting for, for social media and the blog. So yeah, we have definitely some moments of fun and travel as well as work in between the work trips.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So how many miles and points did we/you use?
Well, I don't think it's too much compared to years in the past. We've actually paid cash for a lot of things this year. Just some flights were cheaper when I booked them. Looking at you, Italy. Well, that was a last minute thing that we had to cancel a flight with Delta, which I got my points back and then drop like way too much money for a last minute flight out, to make sure that we were able to get there in time to do our trip. But anyway, like the Southwest, I found a really, really cheap deal right around Christmas time this time last year and went on ahead and booked it. Paid for the Philadelphia hotel, all that stuff. But Italy, we did use 66,000 United points to fly home from Italy. Uganda and Kenya, we used 120,000 United points and 80,000 American Airlines points to fly round trip. So United, we flew Cleveland to Entebbe, and then home we flew from Nairobi to Cleveland, obviously with some layovers in there. No direct flights to Entebbe from Cleveland, sadly. For Provence, I used 60,000 American Airline points, and then flying home from France, because I paid cash for my Delta flight. Coming home, I had 30,000 United. You used 36,201 points to go fly to Milwaukee. And then for St. Lucia, which is next month, we did use Capital One points. So we used about 154,774 points to pay for our flights there. So in total, I used 300,387 points, and you used 246,588 points this year.
Dang.
Yeah, with all of our flights.
Are we bleeding points? Did we earn at a similar rate? How are we doing there?
We actually did a pretty good job earning points a little bit. We didn't really open.
Hold on.
What?
Combined with the look on your face, that was the least confident answer. You know, we actually did do a pretty good job a little bit.
I mean, I feel like we kind of started and ended the year around the same amount of points.
That's fine.
So we kind of like earned what we burned, essentially. It wasn't like in years previous, like leading up to our wedding in 2019 and stuff like that. We had a lot of points and we were burning through them and all that stuff too. In 2020, we had a lot of points but weren't using them. Now we're kind of making up for it, and we also haven't been opening a lot of credit cards lately. We're trying to get our 524 status down and just honestly slowing down on it because we're still figuring out which cards we want to close, which ones we may reopen later. I still haven't really gone through my full strategy, but anyway, as far as points earned this year, I did open the United Chase business credit card, so I got a 75,000 bonus from that. And then also my spend, because it's my main card that I use all the time for my business. I got over 33,000 points on United just for my spending. American Airlines really only earned like 4,600 points this year. Amex, it was a little over 1,800. Capital One, I opened at the end of last year for the 100,000 point bonus, the Venture X card. And then I also got about 44,000 points in addition to that. And then Delta, I earned about 16,000 points or so. So I earned about 299,282 points this year.
Wow.
Yeah, with the 2 credit cards I opened and then just normal spending.
Awesome.
And flying too, because we flew with United, so I earned a lot of points through that. And then Delta, I earned some points through that as well.
Speaking of flying with United, let's talk about our miles and points.
I have status now.
Let's talk about our miles and points goals for 2023.
Oh, I haven't gotten to yours yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's just me.
Oh, my bad. I thought that was both of us.
No. Yours, United, you opened the United Quest card and you got an 80,000 bonus. Plus your spend was about 17,000. You earned Hyatt points this year. So you got about 19,000 there. Your Chase, you earned about 84,000 because I think that's your main card you use for all the stuff. 3,200 Amex points, 27,000 Capital One points. So in total, you earned about 231,841 points this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many did you earn? More or less.
299,282. So
Dang.
Our end of year miles that we have now are 585,394.
That's pretty nice.
So still a good amount. It's kind of spread out a little bit over various cards and things. So that's kind of why we probably want to get into some bonus things for next year.
And now allow me to move us into miles and points goals for 2023, which is one goal and one goal only. United all day, every day, baby. That is it.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I have status with them now. I have achieved silver status with United, thanks to all the money we have spent on United this year with flights and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Are you as enamored with United as I am?
Honestly, we flew Delta, which I normally like, to the Christmas markets from Cincinnati. They have a direct flight to Paris.
Boo.
The plane, first of all, our screens didn't work the whole flight. So it was messed up. The food was like, meh. They didn't really give you much food, and it was okay. And then we were sitting in bulkhead, and the tray tables don't move. Like, you put them out, and they don't move. So, like, I don't know. Like, I don't think that's very size inclusive, I had noticed on the plane. Like, it was harder for some people to eat when the tray table is not really movable and you can't really adjust it. So that was really annoying too. So I would say, yeah, from that experience, I was like, dang, Delta, what is going on? And the whole thing when they like last minute canceled on us, and we're like, don't worry, we'll get you on tomorrow's at late afternoon flight. And I couldn't get a hold of anybody. So I was like, okay, well, yeah.
United has always been my favorite airline.
Okay.
They have been.
Okay.
And they have solidified themselves this past year.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Anything's better than Brussels Airlines. I think we can agree to that. Just listen to our...
Brace.
Oh my gosh. Just listen to our podcast episodes about going to Uganda and flying Brussels Airlines. It's not great. The entire experience, a 13-hour flight from Brussels to... Even the flight from like DC to Brussels was terrible. And then the flight from Brussels to like Entebbe, which I believe was the same plane that we were on.
I think so.
I think we literally got off and got back on, and it was so packed. It was the most like the least amount of leg room I've ever experienced on a long haul flight.
Yeah.
And the least amount of food and water.
Yeah. but in all seriousness, I mean, you flew more than I did this past year.
Yeah.
Didn't have a great experience with Delta. Would you say, I mean, if you had to pick one, because you did say that we have points kind of scattered, where are you trying to focus?
I mean, personally, I would focus on United because I think they're one of the easier ones to get a lot of points with. They're a transfer partner from Chase. United has plenty of credit cards on their own between personal and business. And yeah, Chase does as well. So there's lots of opportunities to earn lots of United points, but also we live in an area where like United, there's a lot of availability for flights from Cleveland. So that's why I would choose it over another airline.
Does Capital One transfer to United?
No.
Got to change that, Capital One.
No, Capital One has some other various airlines. I really like British Airways too.
Like what?
Oh gosh, I can't think of it off the top of my head. Like Iberia or like something like that. I don't know. I can't.
Okay.
Off the top of my head, I'm like, I don't know.
Fair enough. All right. Any other goals that you want to chat about for next year?
I mean, really, I just need to sit down and go through like which cards aren't really like, because you know how some of them have the like, you can't earn the sign up bonus if it's been open in the last 4 years and like you've earned it in that amount of time. So I need to go through and re-strategize what I want to do in that regard. But I think I want to open another Chase business card. I really like Chase. I'm actually looking at them for more business stuff for my business. The United Quest card is an option for me as well, since we are trying to get more status and things with United, and maybe the Amex Gold. So we'll see. I'm still kind of debating those goals for travel hacking and stuff. But you haven't opened a card in a long time, other than like.
I opened the Quest.
Yeah, that's all you opened last year. So we'll see.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Alrighty. How about days traveled last year?
Okay. So this is crazy. The amount
No, hold on. What are we counting as traveled? Like if we went to go visit, like nights away from home?
Days traveling, like including transportation to and from. Like if we did a weekend trip, that's going to be 2 days. You know what I mean? Or no, it'll be 3 days because if we do Friday, Saturday, Sunday coming home.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. So driving home from like Cincinnati this past Sunday,
that counts as a travel day. Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. And I counted every day that we were like away from home, traveling, etc.
Wow. Okay.
So I traveled 81 days, 82 days, 82 days this year.
What percentage of the year is that? Do you know?
That is 22.5% of the year.
Wow.
So, and I know that like, I think like a quarter of the year is probably my threshold for traveling. I think that's perfect for me personally because I'm the type of person that doesn't like love routine all the time. Like I like my routine and then I get antsy and I want to travel again. And then at the end of my travel, I'm always like excited to be back home in my bed with you and Professor, or when we're traveling together, it's still nice to be home and like kind of get back in our routine and I get back to my work routine and all that stuff. And then the cycle just continues where I'm like, I got to get out and like travel again and fuel my wanderlust. So I think that's definitely reaching sort of the top of my travel threshold that I like to do.
Okay.
Because I definitely like to like hole up and work at home and enjoy home while I'm here. So yeah, like a quarter of the year is probably as much as I like traveling.
So 82 days for you.
82 days.
How about me?
Are you ready? It is... My notes are all over the place. 53 days this year.
No.
So I traveled a month more than you did, which is crazy.
53 days?
Yeah, of travel.
Now, did that include traveling for work?
Yes.
Okay.
I include any travel. So,
okay.
Yes. That is about 14.5% of the year.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, bear in mind, some of this is weekend travel, you know, like bachelor parties you went to, weddings that we went to, visiting my family in Kentucky.
That's even crazier when you think about it, because really, I think I only took 17 or 18 vacation days this year.
Yeah,
because I keep track of those separately.
And I don't even think you hit those this year. I still think you have a couple extra.
I don't think I've hit that for a while. I normally go right in between like 17 and 18. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. So there was a lot of weekend travel this year.
There was. Yeah, because your big trips, well, speaking of that, places we visited.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
How many excuse me, how many countries did you visit this year, including the United States?
I have visited 5 countries this year. So
no.
Oh, sorry, 6 countries. Wait, where am I? 6 countries. Sorry.
No.
Yes, I have.
The U.S.
U.S.
France.
France.
Germany.
Germany.
Italy.
Italy.
Vatican City.
Oh, Vatican City,
Uganda,
and Kenya.
That's 7.
So 7.
Yeah.
I always forget Vatican City.
Wow.
Well, because I don't know. You can literally walk into it from Rome. So I just forget that it's its own country. But yes,
I mean, you
it
can
is.
literally walk into Kentucky from Ohio, and it's a separate state.
Yeah. It's not a separate country.
Wow. Oh, whoa.
Okay.
Scusi.
Anyway. You have been to 5 countries then.
Yes.
U.S., Italy, Vatican City, Uganda, and Kenya.
Okay.
Okay.
What about states for you?
I've been to 6 states. So Ohio, Kentucky, California, Pennsylvania, Nevada, and South Carolina.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was in 5.
Yes.
Ohio, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Florida.
Yes.
Wow.
So lots of travel, both stateside. No national parks this year.
Cuyahoga Valley.
Oh, well, other than Cuyahoga Valley.
The OG?
Okay, well, that's our home park that's, like, not that far from us. But, I mean, we haven't seen any new national parks. Like, last year we did...
Windy Impenetrable Forest?
I mean, U.S.
Kabali?
national parks. U.S. national parks.
Man.
Okay. That's true. I did go to Calanques National Park in France, too, so...
Also, didn't you go to Joshua Tree?
Oh, yeah, I did. Oh, crap. Oh, my gosh. What is wrong with
you?
me?
I was going to say.
My mind is just all over the place. Yes, I was...
This is a disaster. Are any of these stats real?
Yes,
Can we rely upon
yes,
these?
Okay.
Is there an independent auditor for any of this?
Oh, my goodness.
We're going to have to start doing that.
Yes, I went to Joshua Tree and Death Valley.
No new national parks
Well,
this
for the
year.
both of us is what I meant. And then
That's
you were
fine.
like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
That's fine.
Fake
Alrighty.
news. You have not been to any new national parks this year.
Within the U.S.
Within the United States. Let me clarify that.
Fair enough.
Do we have any travel goals for next year? Because we pretty much have all those trips mostly booked.
Did you look into whether I can surf in St. Lucia?
I reached out to the all-inclusive place because you have to fill out the like arrival form.
Yes.
Which includes like alcohol you'd like stocked in your place. I just like requested.
Did you let them know that Choo Choo is coming?
I did. I actually put that on there, like the ingredients for like
a Negroni.
Negroni.
The Negroni train.
To make it.
It is
and then I got some
up.
like wine for myself or whatever.
Man, the Negronis are pulling into the station.
But then it like asked things that you wanted to do, like including like in like private dining in your suite or like renting a cabana or something like that. And then I put on the bottom too, like requesting like they have surfing.
That's awesome.
That you can actually do surf lessons. So
sweet.
I'm gonna wait to hear back from that.
Okay. I can't believe you did Negronis.
Yeah, because I thought you'd want to get on the Negroni train.
Did you say pina coladas?
No.
My tropical cocktail of choice?
Okay, yeah, but like those you can't really like make in your room because we don't have like a blender and stuff to make
That's
a pina
true.
colada.
That
we can go get at the bar.
Is Piton the local beer?
Piton is the mountains.
No, I understand that, but is that also the I think there's a beer label named Piton.
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, you can always follow up with them about that.
Okay. Anyway.
Alrighty.
So our goals for next year, as you know.
I was going to say surfing. Not the Negroni train is not a travel goal for me. It's just kind of like, I mean, that pulls into the station.
Yeah. Travel goal next year, we are going to St. Lucia at the beginning of the year to celebrate our birthday week together. And then I will be home February and March, which will be nice to get work done.
What an honor.
Yeah, basically from like January 7th through like mid-April, I will be home, which will be nice. I'll get lots of work done. And then April, May, and June are going to be crazy because in April, I'm going to Champagne in Paris to get ready for the World Cup, or not the World Cup, the Olympics in 2024. So getting a lot of content for Paris. Then I'm going to Puerto Rico for a conference. Then we're going to South Africa and Zimbabwe with my parents. And then, then we're planning to hopefully, I don't know, where else are we planning to go next year? I think that's all we really have booked. I do have, hopefully my Normandy trip booked, for September, but I think we're hoping to go to Canada potentially, like British Columbia and maybe Australia and New Zealand at the end of the year. We will see about that because that might be with your parents and we'll see. That's like literally this time next year, so we don't know that far ahead yet.
Let's check it out.
We'll figure it out.
What about some stats for the blog? What about your 5 most popular posts on Worldwide Honeymoon? Did you do the same for France Voyager or just Worldwide Honeymoon?
I just did Worldwide Honeymoon because that's what this
is the Worldwide Honeymoon Travel Podcast.
It is the Worldwide Honeymoon Travel Podcast. I know my top post for France Voyager, which is like things to do in Dijon or a weekend in Dijon.
Awesome. What were the 5 most popular on Worldwide Honeymoon?
All right. Number 5, a lot of them are itineraries. Number 5 is how to spend 3 days in Chicago. Then we have 3 days.
Hold on. Are these the 5 most popular that you wrote this year, or are they just the 5 most popular of anything?
Of anything.
Okay. So 3 days in Chicago.
3 days in Portland, Maine. 3 days in Seattle. 3 days in Washington, D.C., and the top one, which doesn't surprise me because I got a lot of hits on it this year, is what to wear in Paris.
There's the worldwide aspect.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I think a lot of these picked up speed while we were all stuck at home.
Domestic travel was a little more popular.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of domestic travel posts, and those tend to do well. But I also, further down the list, because these are the top 5, was 10 days in Peru, 10 days in Thailand, that sort of thing. So,
and we did talk during our last episode, without giving away any spoilers, we did continually bring up the fact that, like, a lot of times, at least our eyes for travel wander abroad outside the borders when there is a ton to see within the borders of the U.S. So that doesn't necessarily surprise me that those are some of the more popular ones.
Yeah.
What about the 5 most popular podcast episodes from this past year?
I think these are going to surprise you because they are not the same as last year. Like, our Travel to Hanoi one used to always make one of our top downloads. Yeah. That is not in the top 5 this year.
Wow.
Not that it didn't get downloads, it did, but we grew a lot more this year, which was great.
Awesome.
I think we're basically twice what we were last year, which is great.
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, guys. We literally wouldn't be here without you. So thank you.
We would be. We just wouldn't be making the podcast.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Shout out to our mothers.
What?
Because we wouldn't be here without them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Anyway, podcast. Number 5 is our Prague podcast.
Okay.
Not the Christmas markets, just the episode about Prague.
Okay, the Prague destination guide.
Yes.
Cool.
Number 4 is our Budapest destination guide.
Okay.
Number 3 is our Paris destination guide.
Guys love Europe.
Yep. Number 2, and this is a newer one, 10 days in Costa Rica. So how to spend 10 days in Costa Rica without a car.
Nice.
So that one's a very popular one. And number 1, do you want to take a guess?
No. Actually, I will take a guess.
Yeah. No.
Well, yeah, you were expecting that, were you? I will say that it is one of the episodes from our 2 Weeks in a Continent series.
No, but those were very popular when we did those.
Okay, what is it?
It's our Vienna destination guide.
That is wild.
That is wild to me. I don't know if that one's just picked up speed with like the Christmas markets. I'm sensing a theme here, and I'm wondering if a lot of people
are going to Europe.
Europe travel has been crazy this year, so that makes a lot of sense. But I also think that, we did do not Costa Rica. I'm reading off of this. We did do the Christmas markets in Vienna, Prague, and Budapest. And I'm wondering if people are searching that out because a lot of people are like planning Christmas market trips because they're open this year without like restrictions and things like that for the most part. So I'm wondering if people are doing that too.
Yes.
But this is through the whole year.
We also got a wonderful email from a listener that took a trip very similar to ours within Central Europe, and sent pictures and all of that, and that was absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, guys, we love to hear from you. So if you have anything, questions, stuff, I also get emails asking questions about, more details and things that we talk about in our episodes. So if you ever have questions, feel free to reach out. At cat@worldwidehoneymoon.com. Like, I check that. The only emails I ever ignore is like spammy ones where they're like, give me a backlink, or like, I'd like to guest post, even though on the website it says like those will be deleted. So, but normal messages from people, always very gladly appreciated.
Awesome. What was your best hotel you stayed in this year?
Yes, this was tough. Because we stayed in some pretty good ones.
This was not tough.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ishasha in Uganda.
You loved that. It was rustic, too.
I loved Ishasha.
You loved a good bush shower.
I did.
Yeah.
I loved a good bush shower. I love that I could hear hippos and buffaloes and monkeys constantly.
I mean, explain what a bush shower is, too.
It is water that is heated up and put in a large plastic container that is then pulley systemed up or risen, and then it just lets the force of gravity go through a shower head.
And that's how you take your shower in the morning.
That's how you take your shower. But yeah,
take a 3-minute shower.
I loved Ishasha. I loved the fact that the internet was out. I loved the fact that there was the fire pit. I
love the fire pit right on the river.
I think that was
cool.
my most relaxing portion of any trip this year was at Ishasha. We had separate beds.
Yeah, they accidentally forgot to put our beds together. And
that was
Christopher was like, no, that's fine. I'm going to sleep great.
Oh my gosh, and I did. I slept
terrible that first night because every little noise I kept waking up, and I didn't have you cuddling beside me to comfort me. So I was like, this sucks.
I slept wonderfully. I woke up to the sound of hyenas and buffalo like right outside our tent.
I woke up hearing them right outside our tent because all we had was like essentially like the canvas wainscoting, and then the rest of it was all screen.
That was it.
That at night you would put like, a curtain over so that, people can't like see inside your tent and stuff.
Amazing.
But so you hear everything.
Amazing. Loved it.
It was really, really fun. I thought that was the best food of our trip too.
Agreed.
Really enjoyed it. And it was a great experience.
Was that your best hotel?
No.
What was yours?
I really liked it. I really, really enjoyed I don't know. It's tough. I really liked Mahogany Springs, but my top one, I think, was Akiliani.
I knew you were going to pick that.
Well, I had the best massage of my life. Fantastic. In the room. The tents were huge. These big platform tents with a big shower, and we had a huge king-size bed, all this space, a viewing deck of our own. The service was fantastic. I love the fire pit next to the river. Absolutely lovely. Really, really enjoyed that. But just a quick shout out to...
Oh my gosh, you've mentioned 3 hotels already.
Casa Bertagni. That's the one in Bologna. Because that was such a cute boutique hotel that was...
It was.
It was a former, the grandparents' former home. And they had all sorts of great vintage stuff, and it was really cool.
Awesome. What was your favorite trip that you took this year?
I'm going to say Uganda and Kenya. That was such a bucket list worthy thing.
It was incredible. Yeah. It was a trip that we had saved up for I don't know how long.
It's a trip that we really only did because we weren't going anywhere in 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, we would not have been on that trip. So I agree. That was by far the best trip. And I'm sure that we will go into a bit more detail about that in next week's episode, our top 5 experiences and embarrassing moments from 2022.
Yep. Yes, so that is our 2022 year in review, our travel stats and shout outs. And next week's episode is going to be our top 5 travel experiences and embarrassing moments. So stay tuned for that. That's always a fun episode. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to us at Twitter at WW Honeymoon, Instagram at Worldwide Honeymoon, or email Kat at worldwidehoneymoon.com. But thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to rate and review our podcast. It takes less than a few minutes and really helps other people find us. Also, if you're enjoying this awesome free information on both the blog and podcast, when you're booking your next trip, head over to worldwidehoneymoon.com/resources and use the links provided. We earn a small commission at no cost to you when you book through these links, and these are all brands and companies we know, love, and use, like Skyscanner for finding the best flight prices, World Nomads for the best travel insurance, TripAdvisor for hotel bookings and reviews, and even Amazon for all of your travel purchases.
Thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Wherever you are, wherever you go, remember to make every day a worldwide honeymoon.